All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Malta School Board of Trustees, notice of meeting being recorded. This meeting of the School Board of Trustees, Committee of the Board of Trustees, or Committee subject to the open meeting laws, being recorded in accordance with sections 22301, 23202, 23203, and 23214 of the Montana Code annotated. All members of the board, committee, staff, and public in attendance are advised that the public portions of the meeting will be recorded in both an audio and video format. Cameras and recording devices are placed throughout the meeting room to complete these recordings. Everyone in attendance is reminded to honor the basic rules of decorum during the meeting and guidance associated with providing public comment as stated in policy 1420F. By remaining in the meeting, those present consent to being recorded and displayed in the footage that will be posted on the school district's website. No visitors. Public input, comments must be non-agenda items and related to topics under the jurisdiction of the Malta Public Schools. Hearing none, moving on to action items. 2025-26 contracts.
Transportation Coordinator Tara Cole and Carter Clausen.
We need to have any discussion on this, you guys? Has anybody got questions?
To my understanding, the Transportation Committee will have conversations about this.
Yes.
And if we need to visit on what the job description looks like moving next time. I feel like it went well this year with, what am I trying to say? As far as what he was expected to do, he was fulfilling that. And then Tara as well. So we will have a meeting on the 28th to go over more of that and exactly who is doing what.
Define.
Yes.
Okay.
But the job description as a
Will stay the
whole is
same.
not changing.
Yes.
It's just clarifying and communicating clearer about
Yeah.
what the duties are between the co-coordinator position.
Yep.
And I'll just say that we made an error on the last meeting that we should have made a motion to table their names until we got some of this clarity instead
Yeah.
of just taking their names off. So I just want to apologize for that error. The intent was not to wholly remove, but yet to table until some discussions and clarity was brought to light. And it
Yes.
sounds like we're clear enough to be able to pass it on to Transportation Committee, and then Transportation Committee will meet with Tara and Carter, right? But the
Yes.
job as a whole is not changing.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And then just for clarification, as we've talked about on finance, the portion of it that we put the addendum on will be removed for this next contract?
Yeah, the hourly rate
For
ends
the hourly
on
wage
June
and the
30th.
mechanics portion of it. Okay.
That
Just for
ends June 30th.
Okay,
clarification.
that's good to know. Okay.
Okay.
And then, after this tonight, then, negotiations and stuff move forward after.
Yeah, after you guys decide what.
After we meet on the 28th?
Mhm.
Okay.
That was my understanding, is once you guys have clarified the
Everyone's good there.
communication between the two parties.
Yes.
Who does what, then that makes it easier for us to do our job with finance negotiations.
Okay.
That's at
I
5:30, correct?
What's that?
5:30, correct?
On the 28th,
I
what
believe
time?
so.
That's
Yep,
what I have,
Yep.
so I'm just making sure.
yep.
Okay.
And Heather, you'll be there too. Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that'll be great if we're all under that same understanding and then we can move forward from there.
Yep.
All right. I make a motion to approve Tara Cole and Carter Clausen for transportation coordinator contracts.
Okay.
Second.
And I have a second from Kyle. Heather, I do just want to note that Jessica is on speakerphone on the phone.
I
And she's
have-
driving in right now, so.
have her.
So she's here. So I have a motion from Katie Brown to approve the transportation coordinator contracts and a second from Kyle. Do I have any other board or public input? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Fiscal year 2026, officer elections and board reorganization of the board. Okay. I'm just reading exactly how I'm supposed to do this.
Okay.
So I start right here down at Are there nominations for the position of board chair?
Can I just say I nominate Kyle Buck.
Okay, I have a nomination for Kyle Puck. Are there any other nominations? I have to say it 3 times, right? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to cease nominations?
Hey, Angel.
Yes.
I'm right at the door. Can
Oh.
you just wait a second?
Yep, I'll just wait. I'll pause.
Oh, double squeak.
Is this for literally running?
I was super
It
impressed.
sounds like a little person, not Jessica running.
Oh, no, we totally thought it was you running.
Oh, hearing Ozzy, we thought it was you.
Okay, so there was a motion for, or a nomination for Kyle.
Yep, I called for, are there any nominations for the position of board chair? Katie Brown made a nomination for Kyle Cluck. I asked for, if there were 2 more times, are there any other nominations?
Okay. So then it's done, because you have.
Well, then now I'm asking, is there a motion to cease nominations?
I make a motion to cease nominations.
I have a motion from Katie Marcus. Is there a second to the motion to cease nominations?
Second.
I have a second from Katie Brown to cease nominations. All those in favor of the motion to cease nominations signify by saying aye. Aye. But I don't call for a second, or I don't, okay. All opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries. So we will now vote on the candidates for board chair. All those in favor of Kyle Cluck?
Shoot, I wish I was here, I'm sorry. You're fine with not being chair?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, sorry, I know there's a moment of where there's discussion or something, but.
Not in this, it's very specific, I'm following the exact language.
Okay.
Yes, I am very much fine with Kyle taking board chair.
Okay.
Yes, Kyle, I'm fine.
I don't think we're asking that question
Yeah.
tonight.
That's not in the.
There's nothing in here about declining the nomination.
I can vote against it, and I will.
Okay, are we ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of Kyle Cluck signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The new board chair is Kyle with 5 aye votes. I will now turn the meeting over to board chair for the election of vice chair.
Not applause worthy.
Thank
It is
you.
applause.
Thank you, Angel. You have been a great leader.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like a bad clerk, there should be a gift or something.
No, I suck.
Yes, thank you, Angel, I really.
I'll just switch with you.
You're,
Yeah, you can have all my stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave the computer there, it's just I don't want your gift.
Sit up straight, I suppose.
Yeah,
Look
you gotta look
professional. Yeah. Well, I don't ever look good in something. Ready to proceed? Okay.
Yes,
Are there
sir.
any nominations for position of board vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Angel DeVries.
Are there any nominations?
Are you sure you don't want vice chair anymore, Katie? Are you sure?
Yep.
Anybody else interested in vice chair? All
I
right.
think it would be great, since you are no longer chair.
I think it'd be great
So
too.
Are you sure, Kyle? Okay.
Are there any other nominations? Is that the third time? Okay. Is there a motion to cease nominations?
I make a motion to cease nominations.
Is there a second to the motion to cease nominations?
I second.
All those in favor of the motion to cease nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye. I think you still have to say, all those opposed, same sign.
All those opposed, same sign. I was reading down farther. Go ahead. All those opposed,
Well,
same
that's
sign.
not actually on there,
Yeah.
so that's why I was just helping.
Oh, you know what? There's a typo in there.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
that.
Board of Vice Chair.
That's what I was reading. I was confused. We already voted on chair, didn't we?
You've done so poorly, we're gonna already replace you.
It was a test.
So do I gotta do that part yet?
Yeah, you gotta, yep, now. we
I
know.
will fix that just when I read it. We will now vote on the candidates for board vice chair, however you want to say it. All those in favor of Angel DeVries, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. She won.
Thanks. I think you have to read the last sentence there, Kyle.
The new board vice chair is
Yeah.
Angel DeVries with 5 aye votes.
Okay. So now Heather, is this where you want us to sign, or are you gonna do all that at the end?
I'll get that ready, yeah.
Okay.
Agenda item number 3, is that where we're at?
Yep.
Am I wrong?
I only had 2.
Well, yeah,
Number
it's
two.
part of 2. It's part of the organization.
It's part of the organization.
It says number 3 on it. Discussion and formation and continuation of committees.
How did everyone think committee assignments went this year?
I'm just now kind of getting used to it.
Right?
Don't change.
I think they went good, and may I interject?
Please.
I think you said it perfectly, just what you said, you're just getting the hang of things. I would like to see people kind of remain where they're comfortable.
Okay.
Because if you're moving around too much, then you might not.
Does it make sense to swap the chair and vice chair to finance?
We've had a little bit of discussion around this. I'm okay if Kyle would rather do finance so that he's in with negotiations for this next year. The biggest thing, making sure that there is one person that knows what's going on.
That was my concern, as you guys are both on it, because you're both up for election next year.
Right.
And when you both
Yep.
win, it won't matter.
That's awfully brave of you to think of that.
But since we know Katie's not running again.
Kyle, which 2 are you on right now?
Building and transportation.
Please don't leave transportation.
I was gonna say, please don't leave building.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Maybe just flip you two, right? Put you on building and him, oh, but you're not, your
Angel's
personnel
on
and.
building.
I could be on
I'm on
personnel.
building with it.
I could be
Building.
on
And then he'd be on
building and
finance
personnel
and
and he would be
transportation.
on transportation. We
That's
could
what I
just
think.
So
trade.
you're coming to building?
We could just
Okay.
trade
I was gonna say,
building.
unless you don't want transportation, because
I don't want any
I
of them.
don't want transportation.
Well, Kyle, that's not an option.
I think you would be a good one at it, possibly. But, you know, but
I'm fine with that if you want to do that.
So if you're all right with that, is there any concerns you have on the building committee
No.
portion of it that we
No,
maybe
I
need to
mean,
stay?
I think a lot of building committee discussions all tie back to finance, which you've been experienced with. I mean, we've looked at the budget a lot. I
Right.
think that it would be an easy transition. And, I mean, with transportation, you're someone who gets a transportation contract as well. So either way, I think you'd be well suited. But I know that transportation has undergone a lot this last year, and it might be good to keep stability in that committee.
Okay.
So there's building, finance, transportation, curriculum, personnel.
Yep. There's 5.
Mhm. Okay.
So we're saying me and Kyle on finance.
Okay.
Now, can we put a caveat there? Can Katie finish union all the negotiations?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
say so.
I was gonna
Can we, it's
I was
just,
gonna say,
that's
I
a
don't think
nightmare
we
to try
throw
and
into that right
trans,
now,
for that before all the
I
negotiations.
do think though that you guys you sat in, right, on these last ones? Like for Kyle to just sit as a public member to watch or no?
You can, it gets tricky because the perception is that there's a quorum of the board
Yeah, you
present.
can't have 3.
So, well, I just thought you guys did.
We
what
did.
you were
We tried
trying.
and we got in a lot of trouble from Jane.
So we got scolded, so how Angela and I got around that was we stated when we went into the meeting that we were there as public, we were not participating, we were merely there to listen to the meeting, to learn, because we were going to be on that committee going forward.
I don't even know if by Montana law, though, that making that statement
Yeah.
absolves you.
Right, yeah, and we did it one time and never again. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Right.
just,
We were trying to learn and
Right.
because, and we had a lot of discussions after that with two of us being on the board of how we could do that. And learn,
It is
especially
too
when you
bad that
have,
that's the law though, because I feel like negotiations is such a big deal.
right,
it is
It's not electric law.
yeah, I was checking out of the corner of my eye.
space.
Just like you say though, to make sure that when we have new people on the board, if there was a way that we could teach them from the ones that are already there, some of those positions and committees.
And I think that's part of what I've talked with Steve and Heather about is some of this training too. I think that's, like we did the MTSBA training in July. And we'll talk about that more when we get to.
Is there any way you could do like a revolving negotiation? Not that, like, some of this stuff I know is very detailed, but like Katie and I on transportation, could you have like a negotiation committee and have one of us sit in, like when we're hiring a bus driver, or could you set that up?
Well, not
To
if
where-
there's more than, not if there's 3 or more.
But
So
no,
what
but
he's
like
saying
have
is
like-
having assigning people to that negotiation too, right?
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Like,
Oh, I see. So
like
that's
have a
transportation.
finance person and then a
Transportation.
transportation person, so that we would get our feet wet as to how negotiations would go.
And with it being transportation, I feel like transportation
Weird.
should probably have a say in
What's going
transportation
on?
director. Yeah, that makes sense. I see
So
what you're.
I don't know if we can do that.
I
I
don't-
just,
if
I don't know, I
we
think
use
that's
the
something that-
example of Marty, right, who's been our latest hire, it would be, somebody from finance and somebody from personnel?
right.
Perhaps.
Or curriculum. or something,
Now,
yeah.
that one's a little bit unique though, because the whole board did the hiring at least, but, I
Mhm.
mean,
But he's talking about the negotiation.
yeah.
They would get new members an
I just
idea of
don't know
how
what
it
that
works.
looks like when we like by law set committee groups up and,
Well, so, oh, dang it, I left it on my desk. That's.
I think that we don't have to make a decision tonight, but I
Because
think it is
there's
something worth
nothing, there's
exploring.
nothing in the law that says you have to have committees.
Right.
And so the committees can be organized however you guys want to organize them.
Yeah, we just,
And I learned that at the MTSBA training today.
Oh, okay,
And there was, so I
The
printed out the
PowerPoint you
slide, so
sent?
it's in that PowerPoint
okay.
that
But
I
I feel like
sent.
the lawyer talked to us
He
about
did, he
that.
said we're one of the only ones that.
That has
do it this
committees,
way.
yeah.
That's
So-
right.
I think to that point is that you guys can organize them however you want.
we just
So-
have to be cognizant of what we have currently in board policy, because if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, we do
do
have
have
some.
Yeah, we do
The
have
board policy says that there will be 2 board members on each committee.
On each of these 5 committees, doesn't it name them?
It names the committees,
Yep.
but it just says there will be 2 board members. It doesn't say that
We have to
they-
set that.
Yeah.
that can't change.
Right.
You don't have to specify.
So then do we as a board have an authority to create new committees if we want and make them revolve? So I'm thinking like, instead of just having a finance committee, can you also have a negotiating committee?
You could create a negotiating committee for, like, maybe a specified period of time, like if you're talking about the CBA. Or it could be a negotiating committee that is ad hoc, right?
Right.
Like you appoint a negotiating committee whenever you need to negotiate with an employee.
Okay.
That makes sense. Well, I might have to discuss a little bit more on that, because
Yeah.
that might not be a bad idea. We could do that every time, depending on who we were negotiating with, if we needed to.
Right.
Okay.
And you would just do that when you guys make the motion to hire somebody, you would just say, at this time, we're going to create the negotiation committee for this position, and these will be the members who are designated to sit on it. Okay, so back to this though, who's on building now then?
Kyle and I.
No,
No.
Angel and you.
Sorry.
You're replacing
I'm
Kyle.
replacing Kyle.
And curriculum will still be Jessica and Katie? Brown?
Yep.
And who will be personnel then?
Katie M and Jessica.
Transportation.
Me and you.
Yes.
Kyle and Katie.
Katie Brown and Kyle. I'm good with that.
Okay.
I make a motion to set committees as discussed: finance, Angel and Kyle; transportation, Kyle, Katie Brown; curriculum, Jessica, Katie Brown; building, Angel, Katie Marcus; personnel, Katie Marcus and Jessica.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Jessica. All those in favor say aye.
Ask for any more
Oh,
border public
sorry.
input.
Order public input. Public's pretty quiet.
They look rather quiet.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay.
Action item number 3. You're supposed to go over this.
Still number 2. Still part of the
Yeah,
organization.
sorry. I should just say number 2A, number 2B.
Confusing me.
Sorry.
Trying to make me look bad on my first day. Heard that.
Can you hear from down there?
The new rule's gonna be if you run somebody out, you have to replace them.
Oh.
That's a good rule.
I was just gonna say, Angel has a whole year of motions to make up, so I'm fully anticipating.
I'm so excited.
Every motion.
Instead of just sitting there waiting for everyone.
Yeah, so this is actually just, I wanted you guys to get eyes on what you said your goals were for last year.
I don't know about the spare lots. We got rid of that Zortman one, but I can't
There was
really.
another one over here, right?
Is it right at the corner? Like right,
Somewhere around, yeah.
yeah, it's like right on the other side of Langford's, I think,
Oh, yes.
which is just there, but we don't need to like get rid of it, I don't feel like.
I don't think
guess.
so either.
That Zortman one was the main one.
Yeah, I think that one really came from the Zortman one.
Let's see. I think posting the minutes and the agendas, Heather, that has been fully accomplished. Add staff biographies to the website. I don't know. No.
Who would do
So
it?
I had brought that up
Yeah.
because we had talked about, and I'd really been pushing for it for information, and kind of biography, whatever you want to call it, information of each one of us on the site, so that when somebody comes new to town, they know who the board person is when you're on public, maybe what committee they're on, and maybe a quick summary of who they are, what they do, that kind of thing.
That's a good point. What board members on which committees is not found anywhere on the website.
And you also go out to any of the other school websites that are out there, and it is not uncommon to see an actual page of a quick blurb of their teachers, their staff, their picture, what they do, where they're at, and it's all listed. right
Yeah,
on the
I would
website.
say like name and what they teach and their picture is good. I don't know like for each teacher if you have to like give a.
Yeah, I'm
It's
saying,
Life
it's
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just saying, it depends on the school, but there
Yeah.
are a lot of them that do have that kind of basic information. They can include what they want, but that was where the staff biography thing came from, was
Okay.
continuing to try and put some more information out there. Keeping up with the Joneses.
I think Mr. Bukes has a really good format, and it would lend itself to something like this. Like, so for example, you would have a bucket that would say, that would be provide high-quality education. Your goal would be to add staff biographies to the website, and then you would have steps about how you're going to do that, right?
Right.
Who's going to do it? Is the personnel committee going to do it? Is, somebody else going to do it? And, step by step, so then you can actually realize that goal, and it creates action steps for the committees to take action on, or the board to take action on, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I think it would be worthwhile
If we just maybe table these so that we have time to maybe
Yeah.
meet, I don't know who would do that, but we'll organize that, maybe. I'll reach out to you.
I think this was just an idea to put our eyes on it and
Yeah.
start thinking about it.
Okay.
One thing that I was visiting with Heather and Mr. Boops earlier today was usually our July meeting is a full day like training and stuff, and they've reached out to MTSBA to see if they have someone available that day or what we could do, but maybe that's the day that we actually look at building a district strategic plan, not just a set of goals, like maybe something a little more in-depth. That's a thought, or if anyone has other training
And that was
ideas.
on there, that was on your goals, was to.
Build a strategic plan,
So
yeah,
that
so
would be,
It would be part of the goals, I
basically your
guess.
strategic plan would take over this.
Yeah, exactly.
And I kind of have those examples.
So, yeah, he has some examples, and then I'd say if we have any more suggestions on things that you'd like to see training on, we should tell Heather and Steve. One thing Heather and I talked about is the idea of like understanding our school finance. Like, I think for the most part, we all have conceptually school finance, but like understanding how our school finance, and maybe that's like an internal training from Heather. That would be really, I think, really valuable moving forward too.
Yeah,
Understanding.
For sure.
Understanding even funds and how we have funds with permissive levies, non-budgeted versus budgeted, and how that like looks in practice in our, so that's another idea that I talked with Heather about.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That can be one of my goals. I guess I do come from a company that, every year, every employee wrote what their goals were going to be for the coming year. And it really does help focus you. So I'm going to take that as one of my goals. Okay.
Thank you, Heather.
One of my goals is to survive.
You'll be fine.
Just don't make me mad, Kyle.
Again, you run somebody off, you have to report.
Well, I don't think you want me sitting over there. So we're gonna table this then?
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion for that, or how does that work?
Do we need to table this?
Well, I don't know, because it's just part of the organization of the board.
I think we're going to reevaluate and give our goals.
Yeah, it just said review and discuss, so
Yeah.
there was no action item needed.
Yeah. And just be ready for a more work session discussion.
Motion to adjourn?
I make a
Thank you.
motion to adjourn.
I second.
Wheels return. Motion to adjourn was made by Jessica, seconded by Angel. Meeting is adjourned.
You have to vote.
All those in favor?
Oh, all those in favor, we know that, but.
Aye. Aye. Okay, I was like, is he asking?
I know. All
Pass.
opposed.
All those opposed? Nobody?
Gotta go through the motions.
I know it, I hate the motions. This meeting's adjourned.
Thanks.